Greetings, students. Welcome back to the fourth volume of Eco Chapter number 2. In the previous podcast, we discussed about the division of sectors as organized and unorganized sectors. In today's session, we will be discussing about the third type of classification of sectors. On the basis of ownership, economic activities can be classified into two sectors, public sector and private sector. The economic activities can also be classified on the basis of ownership, which means who owns the assets and who is responsible for delivery of services. On the basis of ownership, there are two sectors of the economy, that is public sector and private sector. In the public sector, government owns most of the assets and provides all the services. Therefore, it is also called government sector. Some of the examples are Indian Railways, BHEL, etc. In the private sector, ownership of assets and delivery of services is in the hands of individuals or private companies. For example, Reliance Industries Limited, Tisco. Motive of private sector is to earn profit. Now let us understand how public sector contributes to the economic development of a nation. The public sector contributes to the economic development of a nation in the following ways. Point number 1, improving infrastructure. Economic development depends upon the creation of basic infrastructure such as power, transportation, communication, irrigation, education, etc. Public sector enterprises can arrange the large investment necessary for economy. For example, railways. The government has taken this up for the following reasons. Only the government can invest large sums of money on a public project with long gestation period to ensure and provide transportation at cheap rates in the entire country. Secondly, export promotion. A large number of public enterprises have been set up to promote India's export. Thirdly, reduction in regional disparities. The government sets up industries in underdeveloped regions to reduce and overcome regional disparities in development. Society needs many things as a whole, which the private sector is not able to provide at a reasonable cost. The reasons are as follows. Some of them need spending large sums of money which is beyond the capacity of the private sector. Secondly, the private sector charges are very high whereas the government will charge reasonably. Thirdly, without government's encouragement and help, the private sector can't enter into such services. Areas where the government must spend for the welfare of the people are providing health and educational facilities by building proper schools and healthcare centers, providing proper food to tackle the problem of malnourishment, and lastly, government also needs to pay attention to the aspects of human development such as safe drinking water, housing, and taking care of the poorest.